welcome to another edition of the Paranormal Zone. I'm your co-host, Tom Spitalere, and Bob Mcdermott is my co-host, and he's out on special assignment. The Paranormal Zone is here to discuss the paranormal, the UFOs, witches, and Bigfoot, and anything that goes bump into the night. Today we have a return guest. We had her on maybe about a month ago, and we're bringing her back on because we had a lot left to cover. And today is a very special day. So I want to welcome Sheila, Renee, Broadway. Sheila, welcome to the Paranormal Zone.
Thank you, Tom. It's so great to be back. I enjoyed it the last time, and what an honor to be here today.
And it's an honor to have you on today.
Thank you.
So today's date, last time I checked, was June 20th. What is the significance of June 20th? Anybody?
It's the summer solstice.
That's right, the summer solstice. So that is the longest day of the year, and some people celebrate that. Tonight there's a private group put on by a local psychic medium. I won't say where, because it's a private home. They're actually having a summer solstice get-together. So for all our guests across the big pond, the small pond, across the Mississippi, down south, and into the Californias and Canada, can you explain what the summer solstice is, Sheila?
The summer solstice, of course, like you just said, it is the longest day of the year, meaning that the sun is out longer than any other time of the year. For a lot of different people who practice certain, beliefs, and like me, I'm a Wiccan. The summer solstice is a day of different rituals that, people will practice and we're also like the full moon is in effect as well. So that brings in more magic and everything. So it's just a day to, be more aware of, just your future. I mean, for everyone, it's different. But for me, for the summer solstice, to be able to practice something this beautiful, it's just a day to be able to bring forth more, future of what you want, your desire to bring forth certain things like that, and just to be more positive light into your, your well-being and everything. Some people don't realize that the effect that the sun and what it can do for us, and it's just, to put it in a nutshell, it's so hard because the summer solstice means so much to so many different people in different ways. And I think it's a shame when there are a lot of people out there who don't, even understand what the summer solstice is, meaning that a lot of people just brush it off as any other day. But a lot of people, the winter solstice, you have that one. That one is the opposite of what the summer solstice. The winter solstice is the shortest day of the year.
Right.
But the summer solstice, for me, is just a continuing of the beautiful sun, of the well-being of our mind, body, and spirit, like I said before on the previous podcast, so with my, practice of being Wiccan and everything.
So for you being a Wiccan, what is some of the differences that you would celebrate with the summer solstice that someone else may not?
For me, I would just embrace just the nature of just being outdoors for me, because I practice as a solitaire Wiccan, meaning I'm not a part of a coven. So I do a lot of things outdoors, just myself. I would embrace more of a longer walks just to get that energy. I would meditate more just to bring forth clarity for myself. Embrace the longer sun, because after today, it does, diminish minute by minute, as the time goes on, getting closer to the winter.
Right. Yeah, this is my favorite time of year, because around here, after Labor Day weekend, it really gets dark early.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the 21st of December, which is the winter solstice, it's getting dark at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
And that's not fun.
Oh, no, absolutely. And but that's what I love about this time of year, because it's still daylight at 8 p.m. and I love it. I love being outdoors just to enjoy it even more. And to me, it's just a massive recharge for the body. And it's just a very, very positive aspect, positive way to just embody who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, a recharge for the battery. And I mean, for me, that's how it is for the summer solstice. Other people may do it so much differently, but like I said, I practice as a solitary Wiccan, so.
No, I get it. So that means you don't belong to a coven or anything like that, correct?
Correct. I don't belong with a coven or anything like
Coven,
that.
sorry.
I have been asked to join, but I'm okay with being by myself with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you meditate, you do what you want to do, and you're following your inner self.
Right, absolutely. Now, like today, as far as that goes, being a Wiccan and everything, I wouldn't incorporate candle magic as much today as I would for the winter solstice, because the winter solstice, I would use more candle magic by lighting candles to embrace and to, put out the energies for the upcoming wishes and, not like the prayer, not a spell. I hate the word spell, but like prayers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, because the only reason why I would do candles more for the winter solstice is because the days are shorter and the light is more abundant with candlelight, and you have that glow, and as the flames flicker from the candles, it just helps to put out your prayers, into the heavens and everything. So, but with the summer solstice, it's different. I don't use the candles as much because the sun's out. So
yeah, there's no need to burn the candles if the sun's burning itself.
Exactly.
Especially like today. I don't know what you're down there and what you're down south. So how was the weather today?
Oh my goodness, it is hot. Oh gosh, I'm not even sure exactly what the temperature was, but I know it was like 90 degrees.
Yeah, we were up in 97, 98 degrees. We're in the middle of a heat wave.
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about you guys up there having that.
So, I mean, today was really not a great day to go sit outside.
Correct. Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, with that being said, it's always safety first. If you are going outside, and you always want to be mindful of your body, and definitely drink plenty of water and everything, and, avoid any kind of dehydration and things like that.
No, you got to do that. I mean, and, at least right now, when I came back into the studio, it was a little warm, but I had the air conditioner blasting in the car. I went out right before you called. It was still warm, but not nearly as bad as it was today.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
So all the groups that are out around the world tonight celebrating the solstice, if they bring enough water with them, they should be fine. I mean, it's a lot better than what it was this afternoon.
Definitely.
So that's excellent news. So yes, we're in the midst of the longest day of the year. So what do you do different yourself for the longest day of the year? Or is it just another day for you?
Well, it's not necessarily like another day. I have a job just like anybody else does. I don't get off work until 5 o'clock. So unfortunately, I have to rush home and do, just your regular daily stuff. But, I don't know. I like to go for my walks, and after I get through doing the show tonight, I'm just going to go outside and probably do some more yoga outside and everything, and just embrace the the longer day and just absorb it. Right.
I know today being the longest day, we all should be outside trying to enjoy the light, the sun. We don't get into medical stuff on this show, but I sometimes will a little bit. So we are right now. have a vitamin D deficiency, but I think anybody that lives in New England probably has one of those. It's not really top secret. Vitamin D means we just don't get enough sun. And I'm out a lot.
Today would be perfect for that.
Today's a perfect day to get out there and revitalize and get that calcium, vitamin D going.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And just boost those spirits up. Absolutely.
And that's what we got to do on days like today, because obviously the shortest day of the year can get real dreary.
Yes, that is true, because it is just so depressing sometimes when your days are, short. And sometimes in the winter months, well, you're from the north, you guys get snow and everything. And It's gloomy and it's cloudy. So that's another reason why, to do the candles and everything for the winter solstice, because it just helps pick up the spirits as well. I'm not talking about paranormal spirits. I'm talking about, your mind and everything like
Correct.
that. So,
And, or do something like,
Sure.
Today we're talking about the summer solstice, right? As I had said before we went on the air, all the other stuff that I do outside of the paranormal realm. One of the things I do is run a festival of trees at the Haverhill Historical Society in Haverhill, Massachusetts. So December 21st is the winter one, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's usually a day of pickup or something like that. So it's the end of the Christmas celebration, right before Christmas. So a festival of trees, for people who are listening across the Great Pond and down south, businesses and individuals will decorate a Christmas tree. And then how the Buttonwoods makes money, which is a nonprofit, you buy a ticket to come in and you buy raffle tickets to win those trees or wreaths, basically. Oh, nice. And on the 21st, it's usually over. So it's a very long day for me, because not only is it cleanup day, but it's a pickup day usually. And that's depressing, because you're looking, when you've been there since day one of drop-off, through 2.5 weeks of an event, and then watching the trees leave, it's kind of sad.
Oh, I'm sure, because, they're beautiful to look at. Definitely.
And people, who donate these trees, they're 6 and 8 footers. They're spending good money on these trees to decorate them. I mean, just how much would it cost for you to decorate a 6-foot tree?
Oh, probably in the hundreds and everything. Expensive.
The trees are alone $150, $200 up this way.
That's crazy.
I don't know what they are down your way, but
I'm not sure. I actually have an artificial tree at Christmas time. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that. I had a real tree one time, and I did not do well with it. No, these are artificial trees. Oh, I got you.
Yeah, no, we can't have live trees in the building. These are artificial.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I know people who paid $250 for a tree that they donated. Just the tree, never mind the decorations.
Wow. That's pretty cool that you guys do that.
Yeah, no, it's a fun time. But like I said, it makes for the very long day on the winter solstice.
Oh, I'm sure. Definitely. You're ready to take a crash by the time you get home.
Because it is the shortest day of the year, but it's the shortest day of sunlight.
Right. So technically it really isn't. You still have the same 24 hours.
Right, except it gets dark at like 3:45. And then, of course, what's lousy on the shortest day of the year is if it's a cloudy day. So that means by 3:15 it's getting dark.
Oh, I know. Or snowy for you guys, or rainy for here. Or,
right.
It's just crummy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And today, the longest day of the year this year was just so hot and oppressive out there. It was hard to enjoy the day.
Oh, yeah. And then in the evening, we get the big mosquitoes, and, they're brutal.
Oh, yeah, no, we have flies around here. They're not that big.
Oh, that's good. Lucky you.
But, prior to May 31st, if you go to Salisbury Beach, you'll be attacked by greenheads.
What's that?
They're a type of mosquito. They're very, very
really?
nasty. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, when you lived up this way, you didn't deal with greenheads, obviously.
No, 'cause I haven't been up that way in a while. Last time I was up there was a couple of years ago. I went to Farmington, New Hampshire, but that was I don't remember any mosquitoes at that time.
Well, no, Farmington's too far in for the greenheads.
I got you.
This is strictly Revere Beach, Salisbury Beach, the beaches.
Yeah,
They're
on the
marsh
coast.
mosquitoes, but they're big, and they love biting you. But no, Farmington's too far inland for
I
that.
got you.
Farmington's a nice community, actually.
It is. It's an older community. I went up there. It's very beautiful. It's very hilly and everything.
Yes.
I'm not used to that because where I live down here in the south, we're very flat.
Yes, flat with flatland and more flatland.
Yes, exactly. But we're on the coast. We get to see the beach, but I still miss, the change with the hills and everything, because when I was up there in Farmington, it was gorgeous. It really was. And it was an older community, but I love the history of it. It was neat.
Yeah, no, Farmington's got some great history.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of New England does. That's why it's called New England.
Of course.
Well, even where you come from, it's got some great history down there.
Yes, we do. It's a lot of fun. There's still one place I've only driven through in Florida, is St. Augustine. I've always wanted to go to that place because the historical landmarks and the paranormal activity that's supposed to be there. I've only driven through there a few times, but I've never actually just stopped and done any research. I love that place.
I know St. Petersburg Paranormal. I chat with them online all the time. We met.
Pretty fun.
We met through the world's largest ghost hunt, which is they tried to do this thing all at the same time, this same great idea, but the management of putting this together across the world in September, it's called the world's largest ghost hunt, didn't really work out. Then they want everybody to do the same experiment at the same time across the world.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then you submit everything to them, and then they give you how it went down. But
like the results and stuff.
They had different managers, but they just all couldn't get on the same page.
That would have been fun, though.
Oh, it's a fun thing.
Kind of things, yeah.
I believe they still do it, but I only did it for like 2 years because it was just... But I met a lot of great people that I'm still friends with.
Oh, of course. That's
so
awesome.
It was worth doing it, but to try to sit there and do it again with Essex County's busy schedule, couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. So we briefly touched on the summer solstice, which we did that very well. Let's talk about some of the ghost haunts down your way. Mm-hmm. What are some of the big ones?
Well, New Orleans, of course.
New Orleans.
Knows about New Orleans.
Have you ever been there?
Oh, yeah, several times. It's a neat place. I've stayed a night. Actually, I stayed a long weekend there one time a few years ago. All of the other times I've ever been, New Orleans is only 3 hours away, so it's not hard for me to get over there.
Right.
I enjoy it. To walk down the streets, yes, they do have horse-drawn, carriages, and the buildings, they're just, you can see the architects. Some of them are kind of fallen down just a little bit, but New Orleans does a beautiful job of the restoration, of keeping everything intact. And it's just, the culture, it's fantastic. So if you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. The haunted locations there is just so much. You can go down any street, and you'll see signs in front of certain locations that, give you brief descriptions of things. And all of the gift shops down there, you can find stories. You can find books about, the local legends and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
Now, let me, we had to deal with that once up here. So a client of mine decided to go down there for Fat Tuesday. And I always knew about Fat Tuesday, and because I had a band teacher back in middle school. He always took that week off. His jazz band would play all over New Orleans. This guy was a gifted trombonist. Rob Weller, Mr. Weller, one of my favorite band teachers. But he was a gift. Actually, he was. He's still with us, as far as I know. He is, but I think he's fully retired now. That's what I heard. But he'd go down there and he'd travel from bar to bar, his band, and they would play every night.
Oh, that's so much fun.
He loves Louisiana jazz.
Mm-hmm. Has a very unique sound to it.
Oh, it does. I've heard plenty. My father was a jazz drummer, so I know what, he played for jazz. He could also do that swing, unique type of jazz, too.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, because that's what it really is. It's like a swing jazz down there. But back to this client, she was walking down the street, and she saw this tall guy with a top hat and a long black jacket on in an alleyway. And he got her to come down the alleyway and gave her some beads.
Oh, wow.
Mistake number one.
Sure. Of course.
She gets back to the hotel room with her and her girlfriends. Guess who shows up to the hotel room?
He does.
He does. The next night, they're at a bar. She has the beads on. Guess who shows up to the bar? Oops.
He does.
He does.
My goodness.
So after a week of celebrating and whatever they did down there, I guess whatever happens down there stays down there.
Yep. Like Vegas.
Right, exactly. She decided to get on a plane and come home. And guess who was on the plane?
No way.
He was.
That's crazy.
So she finally gets home, back to New England, back to her apartment. She puts those beads away. But guess who shows up at the house?
I'd have burnt those beads.
He does.
Oh, my God. No way.
So I guess it's time to call in the family. Me. It was a cousin of mine.
Wow.
Time to call in the paranormal team, right?
Yeah.
The beads were so ridiculous, hot, and the EMFs were off the charts.
Jeez.
So I took the beads, locked them down with the rest of my demonic possessions. Oh, wait a minute. I also collect haunted items, too.
Oh, my goodness. That's awesome.
My psychics helped me close down, and I keep these things well closed. And I took it out of the house, and guess what? Never showed up again.
Oh, my goodness.
The guy with the black top hat and a long trench coat with the long beard.
That makes me think of Papa Legba. He's in New Orleans. I can't remember exactly if he was a deity or what the legend goes, but Papa Legba is from New Orleans. So that just makes me, when you describe that makes me think of him.
Right. We know it wasn't pleasant, because even when I picked him up in her apartment, it was quite gnarly.
I bet. I mean, so the beads had a serious spirit attachment.
Yes.
That's very scary.
Well, that's why you don't take beads.
Yeah.
Forget the other reason for not taking them. I mean,
yeah.
It is what it is. But, I mean, it's a tradition.
I'm sure she learned her lesson never to go down an alleyway and get beads from someone. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, she learned it the hard way because it was scaring her baby, too.
Oh, that's scary.
When she got home. I mean, she didn't have the kid with them down there, obviously. Sure. Grandma and Grandpa watched the kid for a week or whatever she was gone, 3-4 days. I don't even know. But she got herself in enough trouble picking up beads down there.
Something that sounds so simple, that millions of people have done. I've even done it. That's crazy.
Yeah, but if you pick up beads and you're walking down the main road, they're probably going to be okay. Let's face it.
Yeah, because so much energy has passed through that. Yeah, it's fine.
But when you go down a dark alleyway because someone's waving you down there.
Being in New Orleans, no, they have so many gift shops there that sell the beads. I'm not going to follow a person down the alleyway.
No, you can buy all the beads you want at any gift shop you want.
Yes, exactly. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, she was probably, I don't even know how old she is. Let me see, I'm 48. I'm going to say at that time, Jimmy's 46, so she was 44 now. I would say it was probably 10 years ago, so she's in her early to mid 30s.
Wow.
I mean, you normally wouldn't do that, but, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, yeah.
But
I wouldn't
everything is safe now. Those beads are totally locked away.
Oh, man. So you just lock your items. You don't do any... I mean, I know you've got your psychics and everything that do your ritual. Or, you know...
No, I do my own stuff. They'll help me lock it down initially if I need help.
That's cool.
And then once a week, sometimes twice a week, I go to my secret location where all these haunted objects are, and I take care of them. So... So what else do you got going on down south right now?
History-wise, or like the
paranormal stuff? Yeah, paranormal.
Paranormal. Let's see. There's a place called Fort Morgan. It's right outside of Gulf Shores down here in Alabama. It predates the Civil War and all of that. It's a pretty cool location. It's supposed to be haunted. I've been there. I've never seen anything, but I know a lot of people who have, like some of the local paranormal groups. They've seen certain things like just, soldiers walking by and things like that. There's another place that's about 45 minutes away across the Mobile Bay called Dolphin Island. It's got a fort down there as well. So there's a lot. And then if you go over to Pensacola, a lot of people may not realize that Pensacola is also rich with history. And there's an old lighthouse there that's supposed to be haunted. And I've been there. I've not seen anything, but it's pretty cool, though. I'm trying to think. Those are 3 places that are within, 30, 45 minutes in either direction from where I left. Let me see, where else? And then you were talking about Georgia earlier. You and I were.
Yeah.
Savannah, Georgia. I've never been to Savannah, Georgia, but I've heard that place has a massive amount of paranormal activity.
Well,
I'd like to go there.
I would think with all the plantations down there and the history, I mean, the southern history is, especially on the coast, the colonies area, the original colonies. I mean, they date back. So they had the Rev War, they had the Civil War, and they had other things going on. So.
Oh, of course. And smaller battles, I'm sure we didn't even know as far as, because people fighting over territories and land and things like that. So.
Right. And how many Hatfield and McCoy stories we don't know about down there.
Yes, exactly. Definitely. But yeah, there's a lot of history down this way. Mobile, it's an old place. It's as old as New Orleans, and they also have huge Mardi Gras parades there, and that place is full of paranormal activity. There's a ship there, the USS Alabama. I have been on there, and it's a historical landmark, and if you were to call there and try to get on there as paranormal investigations, they won't allow it. But years ago, I remember watching an episode of Unsolved Mysteries back in the 90s.
I remember that show. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. That's what got me involved in this.
Really? With Robert Stack as the host?
Yes, Robert Stack as the host. Well, part of the reason why I got involved in this was
very cool.
Was listening to Robert Stack and all the stories. So he did the Alabama. They were on the Alabama, obviously.
Yes, and I remember when I went there and I just, was doing the tour or whatever, and that time, this was 25 years ago, they actually had, like, a thing on the wall where they were talking about how, Unsolved Mysteries had been there. but then as time goes on, I mean, I talked to one of the one of the front desk people at the USS Alabama. She goes, "No, we don't do anything about the paranormal anymore." So I don't know what happened. I didn't get into it, so I just left it alone.
Well, you know what happens, and this happens all over the country. It happened in Salem, Mass. They don't allow paranormal teams in Salem, Mass.
Really?
At a lot of the state or federal buildings. I've been lucky with Essex County because of some of the stuff I do outside the paranormal to get into some of those places quietly. I can never talk about them, so I can't even tell you where I went.
Sure.
But quite a few years ago, they had this team come in, and this guy was all about making sure he saw his name in the paper. I'm in there a lot, but I could care less. I mean, like I told you off the air, right? Mm-hmm. So they were expecting him to come in just do an investigation. You know what he pulled?
What's that?
He called the local newspaper and told them he was going to investigate this place. Yeah, so you know what the local newspaper did? Oh,
they showed up.
They showed up because they wanted the story, and they flipped.
Oh, my.
And that stopped all paranormal teams again from going into most of the places in Salem.
Oh, that's horrible. Well, and respectfully, these places, they want to preserve the historical aspects of it too, and they don't want people coming in, and because unfortunately, you and I both, we're serious about the paranormal, but a lot of people think it's all fun and games and stuff like that, and and it's not. A lot of people don't take it as serious as it should be, and so I mean, I can understand why people wouldn't, want others to come in and, I hate to say it, but trash it, kind of.
Yeah, they would too. They have a lot of. I noticed even when I talk to local historical groups up here that Essex County works with, I have many clients that will, I got one that tells everybody, you go knock on the door, nope, sorry, Essex County is the only one allowed here.
Wow.
And this is an old building. This dates back to the 1600s, the land.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
That's awesome.
With Neo and Paleolithic sites on it.
How cool.
Yeah. So if you ever back up this way,
heck yeah.
If you come up visit or something, let me know and I can get you can take a walk,
Oh, that would be awesome.
Join
Thank
us for
you.
the night.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think every psychic that I've had on this site has picked up quite a bit of stuff.
Oh, fine. But nothing malevolent, though, right?
No,
or is it just
no.
a mixture?
It's just a mixture.
I got you. That's
I've
cool.
never picked anything up there. Most calls I get start this way, and you probably heard this before, and you probably get these too. I have a demon in my house.
Uh-huh. Automatically.
Okay.
Yep.
What makes you think you had a demon in your house? Well, I saw a black shadow. Oh, okay. And I'm trying to keep a straight face. Saw a black shadow. Okay. So what did the black shadow do? Well, it appears, it scares me, and then disappears. Well, what's it do to scare you? Well, I open up the door, and he's right there. Well, yeah, that is scary, but you ever been hurt by it? Well, no. Okay. Have been scratched? No. What's it doing? Oh, it moves my keys. Oh, okay. We'll come in and help you get rid of the spirit, but it's not demonic.
Yep. It's probably like a relative and is just trying to say hi or play a mischief, like a game or something. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
So how many calls do you get from people where they just start off the same way?
Well, I mean, I've had people like that before, even friends would be like, oh my gosh, I've got some kind of like a poltergeist activity. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll come over to your house. And a lot of people don't realize they can actually project their own and create their own energy as well. And, with all of the negative energy. But it's scary, though, because a lot of times when I talk about paranormal online, there have been people that automatically would sit there and send me evidence, be like, oh, listen to this demonic message. And I would like trying to hone in on stuff. I'm like, I can't hear anything, but some people, they just perceive things because it's, they don't understand.
Well, that, and of course the Paranormal TV station.
Yes.
The History, whatever, Travel Channel doesn't help at all.
No.
Because everything's demonic on those stations.
Oh, yeah. And, like I was just saying a minute ago, too, people can project their own fears and automatically think it's something demonic.
Right.
Because it's their own minds and their misgivings, and that doesn't necessarily mean that there's something there, but it's just how our minds perceive things.
Mm-hmm.
And, and it's scary because a lot of times it could be a friendly spirit, if you will.
Right.
And just not knowing, they may not even realize that they're there, the energy, because sometimes it's residual energy versus intelligent energy.
Right.
So, but that doesn't mean it's demonic.
No, like I said, Unsolved Mysteries did a good job. I could sit there and talk about it. Now I know you watched it.
Oh, yeah.
The Robert Stack one was excellent.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's what got me in.
He always had his trench coat, remember that?
Yeah, his trench coat. That's what got me into the paranormal.
That is so cool.
That, and then I had a couple incidents through in my younger days, and I could kind of feel. I don't call myself a psychic at all, but I have the ability to channel, which we didn't discuss the last time, I don't think, when Bob was on, or when Bob was co-hosting that night, but because we were talking about all these other things. But yeah, I have the ability to channel.
That's cool.
Have you ever, some people with psychic ability can and some can't.
I've never really been able to channel, so to hear what do you do? What's that like for you?
Well, it's tiring once I'm out. I don't know what I'm saying or doing when I am channeling. I've totally given full control of my body up.
Do you do automatic writing when you're channeling?
No, I have to rely on either whoever's videoing or running a tape audio recorder.
Oh.
And then play it back.
No, I've never been able to do anything like that. That is just really fascinating. So, how long does that happen for you?
I've been in and out quickly, in and out for a long time. Sometimes I'm in for a while, depending on how long the spirit wants to talk. And then once my team starts to see it goes a little too long, they'll try to get it out of me.
Okay.
So.
And how does that end for you? Is it okay?
Oh yeah, no, it ends fine, but I'm pretty much wiped out for a few minutes.
Oh, I'm sure, because they take your energy.
Yeah, and it's a lot of energy.
Wow. Do you ever have any residual effects the next day?
No.
That's good.
I might wake up a little more tired because I didn't sleep as much, because I might try to replay in my mind what went down. But,
right.
That's like, the tired I would feel is at like 10 o'clock at night. I'm driving home from a case or something. I'm tired, and I drink a large cup of coffee. You're not going to go to bed in an hour or two.
Oh, no, because you got to wind down and be 3 or 4 hours, actually.
Right, and then you got the caffeine in you.
Yes.
From the large cup of coffee. That's what it feels like, waking up from a morning after that.
Okay. So you don't feel like any kind of discomforts or pains or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I think once or twice I might have pulled a leg muscle or an arm muscle. There is that possibility, because I know there was a couple of times I woke up the next day, my arm was stiff.
Okay, so is it like muscle spasms?
No, more like they were just like, when you use a muscle you haven't used in a while.
Sure.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. I've never done anything like that before. Well, that's really interesting.
Well,
I've seen people do it before, but yeah, I've never experienced it myself.
The reason why I do it is to help the client. I'll move spirits over to the other side that way.
Oh.
Or sometimes abolish them out of the house.
Okay.
That's what I use those abilities for.
So you use it all for good and everything?
Yeah, I use it for good. It does sometimes take a toll on the body. I had to take a little time off from channeling just to recharge the batteries and whatever else, but I will do that to help a client because my goal is always client first.
Of course, absolutely, to help them.
So have you ever had to move anything that was negative?
Never really had that bad of an experience or anything. I did try to help one person one time, but she ended up going with someone else because of my beliefs didn't quite fit her beliefs with me being Wiccan. I think it made her feel more uncomfortable, so she went with someone that had more of a Christian background. So that was the only time I ever had anything I was not able to help.
Right. I've actually had that happen a couple times. Once recently, lady called me out of the blue because she had this thing she wanted removed from the house, and she asked how we did it, and I told her how we would do it. No guarantees, because there is no guarantee. People listening, and I think Sheila can agree with me on this one, if you have a paranormal entity bothering you, and you either call Sheila, myself, or anybody else, and they say, I can guarantee I can get rid of that spirit. What you want to do is slowly hang up the phone. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Because in the spirit realm, there are no guarantees.
Oh, yeah. You may get some quiet time for a brief amount, but there's a chance they can always come back. And there's also a chance that they may never come back. So,
right.
But you never know.
Right. So there are no guarantees.
Exactly.
So these people go, oh, yeah, I'll make a guarantee. And then I see something on, this is what kills me the best. You will probably check Facebook and all those paranormal sites, right? On occasion, just because that's what we do. I saw something on one of the pages. This person was asking for help to cleanse their house out. And this person offered and guaranteed for $2,000 that they can do it.
How are you going to guarantee that? I mean, I guarantee you I'll take the $2,000 and go to the bank. That's all they can say.
Needless to say, I couldn't keep my mouth shut.
Did you get a response?
Yeah, the lady who put the original post out looking for help thanked me for putting that out on her post. She didn't use that person. And we couldn't help her out. We couldn't help her out because she was in Montana. And, that's a little far for me to travel.
Sure.
I did tell her what she...
able to find some help.
Right. I did tell her what she could do on her own to help herself out, buying some sage and,
Sure.
I mean,
like protection.
Yes.
Yes, spirit guides and all that stuff can
right.
be made too.
And I said, look down around you for a metaphysical store and talk to them. Some may charge, some may not, but that's a lot of money, and and anybody guarantees that you tell them to take a hike.
$2,000, I can guarantee that. Oh my goodness, that's pretty brazen for someone to say.
Well, that's what's getting out there. That's why the paranormal and the metaphysicals are taking the hit.
Yeah, because they're taking it away from the ones who have good, genuine heart. That's like, one of my friends, when I tried to help her and she went with that other person, I was going to help her for free because she was a dear friend of mine. The person she went with charged her $300 a session. And I'm like, all right, go for it. If that's what you want to do. This is probably 15 years ago, but I'm like,
Imagine what that's now.
I know. All I can do is hope and pray that, she found some help.
Yeah, there's one I got to follow up on. About 3 months ago, this lady reached out. I reached out to her daughter-in-law because they were having problems. The house is not too far from my house, so I said, okay, have their call. So we called, and then right before I was supposed to go to this place, she called me up and goes, one of the women I work with at the hospital told me that she was going to bring her priest to the house. Okay? Mm-hmm. I got to follow up and see if that actually worked.
Yeah, that's interesting. You'll have to keep me posted on that because I would like to know too.
Because when I drove by the house, and I drive by this house every day. I didn't know that I try to keep myself closed as much as I can so I can live a normal life too. We all got to live a life too.
Of course.
But this one particular night, once I found out where the house was, I decided to, let down some of the guard as I drove by because it's on my way home. Mm-hmm. It is Native American for sure, early spirits. Usually priests have trouble with them because it's a different religion.
Yeah.
Native Americans, even the Christianity they were taught is a different Christianity from today.
Oh, gosh, yeah, definitely, because things have evolved in such a different mindset.
Right. So they're like, they're probably going to themselves, what is this guy doing?
Exactly. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you'll definitely have to keep me posted.
I will on that one. No, I will on that one, Sheila. Do you have any big events coming up yourself?
Oh, my goodness. Not right now. I've kind of taken a hiatus on a lot of that stuff right there. If you remember, the last time we spoke, I was supposed to go to an event the following weekend at nighttime to a local place here about 45 minutes where a Civil War was fought, but I didn't get to go to it because I was sick, unfortunately. Allergies that time made me feel really rough, so I didn't get to go. I don't know if anything's going on right now. A lot of times they'll have things closer to the fall, like Halloween time, just to kind of keep up for spooks. But that's when a lot of the historical things, show up too. So I'll keep my eye out with that one.
Yeah. So you don't have any readings coming up or anything like that, huh?
No, not right now. I'm taking a little bit of a break because I moved myself, and so I'm still trying to do some unpacking and everything. So
yeah, that's
trying to take a little personal time.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
that's
looking at boxes right now.
No, that's never fun.
No,
not at all.
No. But it's okay. It's for a great new chapter in my life that I'm really excited about. So.
Well, that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we all go through those awakening moments.
Definitely. And we have to take a hiatus just to make sure that we put ourselves in check.
Right. And, and to make sure you're balanced yourself, because if you're not balanced, you're not going to be able to help other people.
Absolutely.
And then,
I am currently working on my new course about becoming a positive psychology coach, and then after that, a spirituality coach. So I am working on that to broaden and become more of a life coach so I can help others.
Mm-hmm. And you also, if I remember from the last episode, you also are Reiki trained, correct?
Yoga.
Yoga.
Certified yoga instructor with Yin Yoga and Vinyasa Yoga.
Okay. We go all over the place with this show. Can you tell me the difference between those two yoga practices?
Yoga is where the positions are held for longer periods of time, and it's like a restorative yoga, and it helps to, the poses help your body stretch more in depth with the poses, helps with stability and flexibility and things like that, mobility. Where Vinyasa Yoga does the exact same thing, but a Vinyasa pose is held for a matter of seconds, where will be held for about 2-3 minutes or longer. Can be a little bit longer. So you got vinyasa yoga and you have yin yoga.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but I like to tell people that I do restorative yoga because it's basically the same premise as yin yoga, and it helps people who have more disabilities and more mobility issues. It helps them to, to regain a little bit better quality of life.
Now, that's interesting because I've seen yoga. The only thing yoga would put me in the hospital.
Well, you got to mind your body and pay attention to, what our abilities are. It's respecting what our limitations and listen and honor our bodies. And don't push. You can push yourself, but don't hurt yourself.
So, years ago, I did something that wasn't too bright. So 29 years ago, I stopped working out. Mm-hmm. Okay. When I was stopped working out, I was probably lifting about 150 to 180 pounds.
Wow.
About 5 years ago, maybe 6, I decided to go back to a gym. Mm-hmm. And guess what I did?
Did you pull a muscle?
A sciatica and everything else, because I started where I ended.
Oh, you didn't start at a lower weight.
Yeah, no one ever told me that, and I really wasn't thinking.
You started at 180?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Are you okay now?
Oh, no, I'm fine now. I mean, my sciatica acts up from it. I ended up with sciatica from it, but I wasn't thinking. I got to get back to a gym, though, but this time I'm going to do it a lot differently. We're going to start off with 3-pound weights. Because I'm not taking any chances.
If you did yoga, that might help you. A lot of people think yoga is, just for fun or something like that. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm a guy, I'm not going to do yoga. Yoga's for girls. No, it's not. Yoga's for everyone. No matter what you do, no matter what kind of, body you have. Yes, we have our limitations. There are some people that told me that, oh, Sheila, I can't do yoga because, I can't do certain things. I'm like, that's okay. There are certain poses you can do, Yoga isn't about just like 20 poses. Yoga is about...
Sheila, can you repeat what yoga was? Because you came broken up on this end.
Okay. Yeah, yoga isn't just about, doing like 20 poses. Yoga is like hundreds of poses. There are modifications that you can do with each pose to help the individual to achieve, a better quality of life. So one person may be able to put their leg above their head. Somebody else may not be able to do that, and that's okay too.
Yeah, I could never do that. Mm-mm. I'd end up toppling over. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I'd end up toppling over.
Hey, there are a lot of poses I can't do, and I don't even try it anymore. I'm like, okay, you know what? My body's telling me I can't do that one. I'm going to move on to a different pose.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. No, that is quite interesting. So you do that. So do you teach yoga too? Obviously.
What's that?
You're a yoga teacher, yoga instructor?
Yes, I am a certified yoga instructor. I am also a certified mindfulness coach. I can guide with meditation and mindful breathing and things like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Which actually can help with the paranormal aspect as well. Like talking about the negative and positive energies, it can help with the clarity and keeping them protected. So that's a good way to kind of like incorporate both of the worlds together.
No, you're right about that because when I do energy circles with the public, so when I do fundraising, I try to engage the public. So one of the ways we do it is the British version of the Ouija board when we're inside a building. It's called glass divination. Mm-hmm. Another way we would do it, I give out pendulums and teach people how to use pendulums the right way. Mm-hmm. The other way would be dowsing rods, and the other way would be just holding your hand, creating a circle, and you've probably done this,
Yes.
and concentrate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually when I channel, but I'll use everybody's energy, so it's not that bad for me.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Because we're all holding hands. So what I do is create it. So what I do is I start at your third eye, and I push the energy down one side to the next person, down to your feet, back up to your arms, out to the person you're holding to the left, and keep pushing till the full circle of energy is felt.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then from there, sometimes I will channel, but that's not that bad for me, usually. There was maybe once or twice it turned out not so well. But you never know what you're going to channel.
Sure.
I mean, you're trying to help a client out. I mean, we did this home many years ago, somewhere in New England, where we got the call, and the parents were saying this kid had possession on him and everything else. It wasn't a full-fledged possession. What it was when the ghost got mad at the client, he would take possession of the kid, the ghost, the spirit, and then scare the living daylights out of the parents. I mean, and I'm talking about not just scare them. I mean, I've had 3 cases like this where the parents were threatened by knives. Yeah.
Complete terrorizing them.
Yeah, but through the kid. Through the kid. So I went in there and I knocked all 3 of those spirits out the door. They were done.
That's got to be scary for you, too, though.
And the way I had to get rid of that one of those spirits was I actually had to channel it and then send it away.
So when you channel something like that, are you putting yourself at risk?
That's a good question. I couldn't answer that one. Probably. I mean, you got to still maintain control over your own body as you're letting this ugly, negative, parasitic spirit in there to help your client out.
Oh, wow. That's very admirable that you do that, actually. But, wow. Scary, too.
I mean, what's scary? Walking across a busy street in Atlanta, Georgia can be just as scary.
Oh, you're not wrong. Oh, definitely.
Or Boston, Massachusetts, or right here in historic haunted downtown Lawrence, Essex Street.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, you can walk down any of those streets and it'd be scary.
Very true.
You'd be driving home and watch a car fly over a medium strip, blow up all over the place, and not too pleasant for the driver because there's not much left of the driver scattered 5 miles on 495.
Oh, geez, you're not wrong. Yeah. Oh, because it's
That
a
actually-
crazy world out there.
yeah.
But yeah. Oh, but still.
That actually happened the other night. What I just said on 495 with a car crash. They had 495 shut down for over 5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, danger's just one of those words that could be for anything.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
And that's
what car crashes are scary.
And that's what people don't get. That's why when I do talks, I love doing talks as long as I know the crowd. Mm-hmm. If I don't know the crowd, sometimes I don't like doing them because you get the real stupid questions and the real uneducated questions. You
just look at them, you're like, yeah, okay.
Right. Like, I did a talk in Lawrence once at the Lawrence Heritage State Park, where I'm the vice president of the Friends of the Board over there. And I did a talk, and I telling people how, we help get rid of spirits, and this lady raises her hand. I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, well, I got one thing for you. You can't be doing that because the only people allowed to get rid of spirits are the Catholic priests.
What?
Yeah, that was her answer.
So how did you respond?
I said, well, how I get rid of spirits is depending on the house I go into. I go into people that are Catholic, some are Jewish, some are atheists. I had this one house. We're going to go over a little bit if you don't mind, Sheila. But I had this one house, Holy Saturday night, right before Easter, the night before Easter. And, of course, I'm raised in a Catholic family, so I'm getting my equipment. My dad wasn't too happy doing a paranormal event on Holy Saturday night, but I went. So this couple could not figure out why they were having so many problems, their kids. So this is a mixed house, okay? Mixed family, meaning they were both married before and both have children from previous relationships, right?
I understand, yeah.
Yeah. So what she was studying to be a high Wiccan, what are they called? I forgot. The highest Wiccan. But she was studying that anyhow. She wanted to be the highest Wiccan priestess, I think they're called. Don't quote me. I can't. Yeah.
Yes, priestess.
Priestess, okay. And her boyfriend, you ready for this one?
Uh-huh.
Was trying to be the head of his demonic church.
You were kidding when you said they were diverse.
Diverse, yeah. Yeah. Talk about an interesting
what was that
case.
Like?
I had to get everybody's brain back on the one page. First, we started with that once I figured out what was going on. But I was able to help them out that night. Thank God.
Thank God, right? Oh, my gosh.
And it was a one-and-done case. Most of my cases aren't one-and-done. You go back multiple times. But this was a one-and-done.
Yeah.
I still see him around. They're no longer together. But he said we helped him.
Good.
It's all, But I see him around the town that I'm in, so one of the towns I'm in a lot. So, and he's always been nice to me. I'm not saying, just because he's into the satanic cult stuff doesn't make them all bad people.
No, of course not. Because I've got friends in, of beliefs and everything, and they're some of the coolest people ever, but that's a very
diverse case. I talk about that case a lot because there was so much that went into that case.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then like I said to that person, I said I could go into a house of a Native American background or a French Canadian that was Native American, part Native American and part, Catholic. Or you could go to a house of an atheist, or you could go into a house like I just explained. I said, you have to be diverse.
Yeah, you can't be one or the other, because, yeah.
And then her answer was, well, the only people that are allowed by law to do exorcisms and remove demons are priests. I said, well, I hate to tell you this, but a lot of families can't afford that. Because
unfortunately, that is true.
If you want to bring a priest in to cleanse your house, they'll do it. Mm-hmm. But you have to go through all the Catholic rituals first. Oh, wait a minute. They don't give those classes away for free.
Oh, no. But that lady, she was just trying to be assertive with whatever she thought, and she wasn't being open-minded.
No. And the other thing was local public access TV was filming that night.
So she was trying to get her season done.
Right. And she was trying to make me look like I didn't know what I was talking about.
Sure.
I hate to tell you, she left early.
Yeah, you got her.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. No, that happens all the time. When people get like that, I don't get mad. I just chalk it up as they don't know. Yeah. Whatever.
Exactly. And you know what? If we can help people, fine, but there are going to be those people out there that, regardless of what we say or whatever, they're not going to believe or even listen.
No. And in fact, I was so good that night, and I'm not bragging about it, but I ended up picking up a private home case from somebody in that crowd.
Wow.
So obviously they enjoyed what I had to say and they needed help. And we helped them too. We were there, I believe, 2 or 3 times it took.
Oh, that's great.
But we helped them out and we move on to the next. And sometimes I don't get to move on to the next. I do, but I'm still going back and helping old clients because, as you know, a lot of this stuff isn't one and done or two and done. Sometimes it's one and... Yeah. What were you going to say, Sheila?
Some they may be a conduit for spirits. I mean, just because you get one,
Sheila, you're breaking up.
To that individual.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Just repeat what you just said, please.
Okay. And sometimes people are conduits for spirits, if that makes sense. Like you're saying, one and done. You might one spirit, and you might go out there and be done with them.
Right. No, it is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right. People can be conduits for spirits. A whole lot. And it makes it even more interesting. Well, Sheila, we are going to have you back again. We like having you on the air. It's fun.
Well, thank you.
And you do a great job. Yes. So I want to thank you for coming on the air tonight. We've come to an end of another great show. And Sheila, we want to thank you, and we'll definitely have you back again.
Thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate it.
No problem. We enjoy it. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in across the great ocean and the great states of the United States, Canada, and wherever you're listening from. I want to thank you. Oh, before I sign off, I want to just say next Saturday night, June 29th, we will be at the most haunted cemetery in New England, Hilldale Cemetery, starting at 7:30. So if you're listening, come on down. It's a fundraiser for Hilldale. I want to thank you all again for tuning in and listening. Have a great evening. Good night, everybody.